What is your favorite, and that's why we had to put this sign up, story? Hey guys, welcome back to the internet. That's the question of the day, and if you don't really understand what the question is asking, you'll figure it out pretty quick with these stories. So I was chatting with students in the lounge area when all of a sudden we hear an incredibly loud bang. Turns out that another new student had been texting while walking to our center's demo room, and totally missed the fact that the new room's walls are all panes of glass. So she ultimately face-planted in front of me and my group. Not the first time this has happened, but it was enough to warrant a "caution, glass ahead" sign. You know, there's usually a story behind these strange signs, so it's time to find out what these stories are. So his first day of kindergarten, my brother thought he could escape during recess by trying to climb this massive chain-link fence. He got up about 8 feet before the lunch ladies noticed and disciplined him. The aides sent him to the principal's office, and when questioned why he did it, my little smart-aleck 5-year-old brother replied that there was no sign saying that you can't climb it. Well, there is now a sign. In my opinion, warning signs are all designed just to make life less fun. So through my cousin, who managed a restaurant for years, on the hostess stand at the front they had a sign that said, "We smoke our meats with premium applewood," a small bowl of wood chips they used to place right in front of it. The amount of people who would take a wood chip and try to eat it were staggering. It got to the point that they had to keep a bag of wood chips in the cabinet of the hostess stand. People would sometimes put it in their mouths and spit it out embarrassed, and try to cover it up. Some would laugh and say, "I shouldn't have had that last drink." Others would turn around, double down, and try to give the saliva-covered chip to the hostess, and then complain that, "These mints are disgusting." So there is now another sign beside the bowl that says, "Wood chips, do not eat," in red letters. Makes for fun conversation every night for the hostesses seating people who are new to the restaurant. Unfortunately, they still need to keep an extra bag of wood chips in the stand, and people still think they look like a great after-dinner snack. Now when the double downers complain, the hostess just points to the sign and laughs. People never cease to amaze. I mean, what do they think it is? Like, some kind of jerky? I don't know how you wouldn't realize that what you're holding is not food. So at a seminar on new colostomy supplies, there was a sticker on the colostomy bag collar, the part your modified intestine sticks through, stating that the colostomy was not to be used for sexual pleasure. I don't know the backstory, but yeah, I'm gonna choose to remain blissfully ignorant on this one. So I work at a dining hall at my university, and was cleaning the salad bar when I noticed a small fire coming from our toaster oven. After running to find my manager, we eventually put it out. Turns out some guy stuck a piece of pie in there with a paper plate, and the entire thing burst into flames. "Please only put bread in the toaster," became the new sign. Yeah, I don't really know how you can mess up using a toaster. I mean, they're pretty obviously designed to only fit very certain types of things in them. So from my father, he was eating at a seafood restaurant and had to pee. There was a sign on the door of the bathroom that said something like, "If you ate this dish, then wash your hands before using the bathroom." My father, being male, and my father, laughed it off and stepped inside to use the urinal. There was a moment when he was peeing and fine, and then there became a moment where he felt like his dick was on fire. So he ran to the sinks and started splashing water on his junk, which also splashed his face, so he, in a very Home Alone style, grabbed his face in an OMG fashion, which then started to burn his eyes. So he was there for a very long time splashing water up and down, trying to control the burn. Eventually he returned to the table, paid, and left. Obviously there was a reason why this sign existed, and he was just an extension of it. I mean, I feel like you should just see this coming if you're eating spicy foods. One day I noticed that they had drained, cleaned, and refilled the pool at my apartment complex. A few days later, I noticed a new sign on the pool area gate that said, "Persons with active diarrhea or who have had diarrhea in the past 48 hours are not permitted to enter the pool." I actually just saw that same sign at a water park. My husband and I moved into our first home. It was a completely renovated, amazingly cool house. We knew the previous owner flipped it, and it was a bona fide bachelor pad. Leather bar, pinball machine, blue underlighting in the kitchen bathroom, hot tub, the whole 9 yards. A few weeks after moving in, we noticed people kept stopping by the house, asking for Alex. We told them he didn't live here anymore, and they would always ask if we knew his new address. They were nice enough, but it started getting annoying. One Tuesday evening around 11, we were falling asleep on the couch, and all of a sudden some guy strung out appeared in our living room. He opened the sliding door right next to us and walked in asking for Alex. My husband stood up and was like, "What the heck, Alex doesn't live here anymore. Tell all your friends." And the guy left. We learned the next day from our neighbors that Alex was the local drug kingpin in the area and frequently had his unsavory clientele over to pick up product here at all hours of the day and night. That weekend, we put up a sign that said, "Alex doesn't live here." Went out and got a massive Rottweiler. We named him Alex. You should have just had a cop hanging around your house. That might have deterred a lot of people too. We've got a huge sign in our campus that says, "Beware of geese." I've never seen a goose in the area before, but I've also never seen any people set a foot there. When I asked my art professor what it's about, she said that they put it there because kids used to skip classes and drink and smoke there. I guess it worked. Yeah, I mean, geese can get pretty scary. I just think that's kind of a funny choice of a deterrent to people. The other day, a woman was tanning in the middle of the shooting range. I think some new signs will be made. Out of all the places you could be tanning, why in a shooting range? I mean, there's no shortage of sunlight, anywhere. Why pick the one spot that's gonna get you killed? The local park has a sign telling pet owners to pick up their pet's feces in several languages. The place was shut down at one point, and a tree was taken down because there was so much poop. They now have a police officer patrolling the place. What does that mean, that there was so much poop that they had to take a tree down? Like, what even happened there? So not necessarily a sign we put up, but worked with an assistant manager at Sonic who had poured degreaser in her drink and proceeded to drink it to claim that someone had tried poisoning her. And of course, upon reviewing the infamous non-working camera system and watching her poison herself, every employee at that point had to sign paperwork stating that we would not drink cleaning chemicals. Edit, I originally put Sonic, but it was actually Subway. I worked at a Sonic afterwards. So instead of getting rid of that one employee, you just made everyone sign a waiver saying they wouldn't try and kill themselves at work? What do you do if they break the contract? Someone pooped in a urinal every block over the course of 2 weeks without anyone noticing. After it was cleaned, a sign was put up saying, "Please do not put things in the urinal." The sign was promptly found inside the urinal. Please do not put signs in the urinal. I work in an office, and in the bathroom we have a sign that says, "Please don't flush your printer paper. Throw your divorce papers in the trash." Now every time someone in our office has to use the bathroom, we say, "I gotta go flush the divorce papers." Why do all these people see toilets as a garbage can? They can't handle as much as you think they can. So near my old city, there was a street sign that roughly said, when translated, "Don't cross here, you could die." Eventually it became, "Don't cross here, someone already died." Well, maybe the new one will be more effective. We had to put a sign up a few years back at my job on one of those automated sample machines. It was dispensing small tins of Caesar's dog food, very clearly advertised as such. And a woman approached myself and a coworker asking us why she and her 2 children just ate dog food. I felt the only response to her was, "Because you fed it to them?" Management didn't approve of that answer, so we had to put up a sign. Man, how many warnings do you need not to eat dog food? I live in Vancouver, where the incident happened where the sea lion grabbed that girl and dragged her underwater and the grandpa had to save her. In the area where that happened, there's a sign that says, "No feeding the sea lions," as a visual depiction. Haven't been back in a while, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. I guess it just means if you're gonna feed the sea lions, you might as well feed them yourself. As in, have them eat you. My stepdad worked at a shipping yard, and they had to put 2 cylindrical tanks in one of the 2 spots, indicating whether they were full of gas or empty. So one day, the boss asks a guy to wield 2 signs, one saying full and the other saying empty. This guy wasn't all there, and he did create the signs and showed them off to the boss. The first one was well made. Full, it said. The second one, MT. They all found it so funny that they kept it that way. My stomach is empty. We had to place a "No hanging around outside" sign up because the teenagers did not know what "no loitering" meant. I guess the signs change with the times. There's a sign on the way to my grandparents' house that had a picture of a cow falling off a cliff onto a car. Because there's a cattle field on the cliff above the road, and at least 3 cows have fallen to their and an unlucky driver's death. This is the kind of sign that's like, I don't feel like it's really saving anybody. It's just telling you, just a heads up, you might die driving on this road. At the college I went to, there was a sign on the men's bathroom in one building that said, "Please don't use your feet to flush the toilets," because some dude drop-kicked a toilet in an attempt to flush it. I've never laughed so hard reading a sign in my life. How exactly do you drop-kick a toilet? What does that even mean? They had to put up a large sign at a local nursing home saying, basically, don't let people out the door to outside without checking with staff. Evidently, a resident in a gown and wheelchair asked a visitor to hold the door, with an alarm and keypad/code to open for them, and the person did. The staff ran out and got the patient at the end of the driveway, about to push out into traffic. The visitor actually said, "I didn't know she wasn't allowed out. You gotta keep an eye on your old people, don't let them escape." People massively bringing dogs to the park, despite of a big no dogs sign. The locals say, the sign is too high and the dogs cannot see it. You know, those pesky dogs need some better eyesight and need to learn to read. So 3 times over the winter, I took my kid to the zoo, and there was a volunteer standing at a certain spot of the gorilla enclosure, showing one of the gorilla's videos on her phone. He was very interested in videos of other gorillas, and it was mental stimulation for him, she would tell us. The gorilla would sit very close to the glass to see her phone. She was dressed like a volunteer and talked like one too. Turns out she wasn't a volunteer. Turns out watching YouTube is bad for gorillas. There is now a sign saying, "Don't show videos to the gorillas. It has a negative impact on their relationship with their family." And if you think YouTube's bad, wait till the gorillas get social media. My favorite, mostly because it happened to me, but not because it was a great experience. When I was about 6, we lived across the street from a park, and my sister and I would go play over there all the time. On this particular summer day, we had our best friends over, who also happened to be sisters. My best friend and I decided to go back across the street to get some popsicles, and my mother is across the street to supervise the crossing. This was a useless effort, because I had stepped between the cars parked on my side of the street to check if the coast was clear. I was too short to see over them, and I got hit by a car. I was in the hospital for a month because my skull was cracked, for the second time in my life. Anyway, after that, they put up a sign that said, "Slow children at play." We moved shortly after this, but it's still there, and whenever I pass it, I'm reminded that it's there because of me. Well, I hope you're a little faster these days. And our final one, to deter would-be burglars, everyone in the neighborhood put up "Beware of dog" signs. Yet, not one person had a dog, only cats. Yeah, speaking of cats, my cat would not defend me against anything other than maybe a bird, a mouse, or some kind of bug that got in. But that's okay, she's still my favorite. So what do you guys think? Have you guys seen any strange signs that you wonder where they came from? My personal favorite sign that I've ever seen is, "Please do not act like a juggalo." I have no idea where this came from or where it's even hanging, but I think it's hilarious. Anyways, that's all for today, so enjoy the cat video, and I will probably talk to you again tomorrow.
Let me see you two. Congratulations on dressing appropriately for the cleaning job.
You getting the military
You got
there?
a cardigan, you got a friggin' $300 sweater on. Look how Murray dressed down. He threw a rag on his belt. Real in-touch working men over here tonight. There you go, Sal. Really selling it. There you go. Sal, say to Murray. Just to wrap up the conversation we were having. Just to wrap up the conversation we were having earlier. After 7 long, difficult years, we finally found my mother's